welcome to the Other 98% podcast, a podcast series to shine a light on the arm wrestling community as a whole.
From the new pullers to the pros and veterans, everyone is, will be, or has been a part of the Other 98% at some point in their arm wrestling career.
No matter where you are in your journey, join the Other 98% community. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. All right. So tonight we have Jody Williams on, who hosts his own live show, ArmTalk. And we have co-hosts Chuck Badro and John Anthony Fernandez. And we're just going to mix it up a little bit, see what's going on in Jody's part of the world.
Well, let's see here. My next event coming up, Dallas, Texas, the weekend of March 27th, and I was talking with Travis Bajan, and he likes to call it the Weirdo Championships.
Weirdo camera guy. The weirdo camera guy.
Exactly. So he has all the social media guys competing, and that includes myself, Artem, Nick Postel, Alex Topro, Gary
Uncle
Rosser.
John.
Yeah, Uncle John. Right? And I hope he does make it, but I've been talking to Uncle John off and on, and because Canada's shut down right now, it's real iffy if he can leave. I mean, he can leave. It's just if he
got quarantine.
It's 14 days quarantine, and because he said he's not from there, so they may not even let him back in. Something crazy like that.
That would suck.
Well, did you see the news from what's his name from the TAL? He basically had to stop because of the president's stuff going on today.
Oh, you're talking about Jeff Frank?
Yeah, Jeff Frank said that he had to basically stop doing anything right now because of all the stuff going on until further notice.
It's unfortunate because I thought that was the shot in the arm that arm wrestling needed.
Yep.
The TAL one was, hey, let's just see what happens. Is in Canada. Oh, it's pretty good because everything else was being pushed back. Then TAL 2 came around. I was actually at the event. So I'm there, in Idaho in the middle of nowhere. But it goes to show you with the type of talent that was there that weekend, you don't need to have an event like that at a casino. It doesn't have to be in a ballroom, so to speak, or expo center. Now, don't get me wrong. Those are awesome places to have an event. But we had it in this little, podunk bar, but the array of talent was, unbelievable. So I applaud Jeff for doing that. Now, going forward, I was originally part of TAL 4, and me and Uncle John were going to pull in a super match.
That's
then
right.
I was scheduled for March, but then that got pushed back, and then TAL 3 was originally scheduled for February, and then that got pushed to April 10th, I believe, in Louisiana. And now with the latest and greatest of all, everything being put on hold, that's been put on hold. So I don't even know if John and I don't know what's going to happen. So
That'll be a fun match.
I was looking forward to that match. I really was. I thought that was really cool.
I like Uncle John. He's been kicking ass, losing all this weight and stuff. And from a health standpoint, I think he wants to shoot down to 198, I believe.
Yeah. No, he said ultimately he wants to get down to the 185s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said right now his main goal is to the 198s, but then he said for competition, you'd like to pull that low. Yeah, I believe I'm correct.
Oh, nice.
I think I saw that.
Well, I'll never see that again. I'll be 45 next month, so I'll never see 198 again. That's what I started when I got into the sport, so I'll never see that again.
So
it's tough. It's definitely tough when you get older. I feel it.
I got to set the stage for this question. This was 20 years ago. You were working 2 jobs, and you were very tired. And you woke up in the morning, and you went to brush your teeth. And instead of toothpaste, you grabbed some diaper rash cream and brushed your teeth with the diaper rash cream.
And, yeah, it was Desitin. And, I was, like I said, working 2 jobs. I was working at a warehouse was my main job. Blockbuster was my second job. And, I'm just kind of like this, all right, let me just start my day. I hadn't had my coffee. And the Desitin logo was facing away from me. So I just sat there, grabbed it, hold on, whatever. Then started brushing, and I was like, and then all of a sudden my eyes opened up like, the fuck is this? I'm looking, I'm like going, oh, you shitting me? I'm yelling. my wife didn't feel sorry for me. She's like, well, can't you read? I'm like, hey, it wasn't facing me. It was facing away from me. But the bad thing about that is that that taste just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many Mountain Dews I drank that day just to try to get the taste away. But it was about a few hours and it finally went away. But it was, yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, she's the one who told me that story.
Yeah, see?
I always reach out to like my guest wives or family members and ask them for like some little stories. And so far it's worked out pretty good.
I can laugh at that now. There's some other stuff that happened to me at the time that wasn't very nice, but now it's been so long ago, I can laugh at that now. So it's all good.
Yeah. I also heard you're not very good at wrapping Christmas presents. You use too much paper.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not that guy. So it's funny because when the kids open their presents, like, oh, this must be from Dad, without even looking at the card, this must be from Dad.
They just know.
Or either that, or it's like, oh, Dad, you're getting better. So it's always something, and hey, it's what it is, Not one of my strong points.
I just give them to my wife, like, wrap this. So how long have you been arm wrestling?
This will be year number 11. Wow. My first event was March 2011, and there it was the Oregon State Championships in Klamath Falls, and only pulled one arm. I only pulled the left arm that day. Yep. It was weird because I'm a naturally right-handed person, but for some reason, practice didn't work it up to that. For some reason, I just did, better left-handed. And I'll tell you a quick story about that. So I ended up going there. My first match, I pulled my own teammate. Now that, I hate pulling my own teammates at a tournament, but that's what happens when you're all in the same class. My thought would be, hey, how about we all meet in the finals and you and I go for, first or second, whatever. But met him in the first round, lost, went to the B side, went all the way back. I take third. So, but to get to the story, I want you guys give me some feedback on this. So the guy that got me in this sport was Darren Wartina. And he was like, well, there's a reason why you're stronger left than right. I'm like, well, why is that? He goes, okay. And tell me if you guys agree. And he actually had me do this drill. I said, okay, what do you want to do? There's a board, there's a nail, and there's a hammer. So I got the hammer, in my right hand. I'm holding the board like this. I'm just, hitting the nail inside the board. No big deal. Guys, what the hell does this have to do with arm wrestling? He goes, I'll show you. He goes, now flip it around. So like go the other way and do it. He goes, no, like put the hammer in your left hand. I'm thinking, okay. So I put the hammer in my left hand, had the same board, had it up here, and now I cannot hit the nail for nothing. It's going every which way. And now slowly the board's coming down because I can't hold it anymore. He goes, because you're so dominant mechanically right hand, that left hand is where your strength is. In other words, do you notice that when you get to the table, because I can feel it, he says, when you go left-handed, you don't think, you just go. Whereas right-handed, you're trying to find out where the pressure's coming from. Is it up pressure, down, side, and then you make the adjustment off of that. Where left-hand, you just grip up. I don't care where it's going. I'm ready to roll. Yeah. And when you explain that to me, I thought about that. I'm thinking, oh.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It does make sense. And so I always took my left for granted. Now, when you're training for something like the Arnold, where that's just a right-only tournament, then I kind of let my left kind of just, I'll hold the peg, whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I went to the Arnold 2019 and took 9th. There was like 27 dudes in that class, and
that's good.
I'm not going down to 198. It just so happens that it's 199 and over.
Yeah.
Now, 2020 was supposed to be exciting because then they were going to cut that class in half. They were going to have a 242 class and then a 243 and over. And I'm walking around at 225 anyway. So I was real excited about that. But then COVID kind of took over and said, no, we're not doing that. So I get that. I get all that. Now I took third place at Nationals in 2017 in Lake Tahoe in the Masters. And so I'm thinking, okay. And, I would train so hard for that. Like after the holiday weight, and I weighed myself on a scale, January 1, 2017, I was 240. I'm thinking, okay, if I want to compete at 220, I got to get on the ball now because Nationals was April of that year. So I'm thinking I got to get on the ball. So I'm like, I don't jog, so I think it's boring. So I'm like walking every single day, got my earbuds in there. At the time, this was back when Hand Control Worldwide was going on with their episodes.
Yeah.
So I was popping in, listen to an episode. I'm just come walk it all, 2-3 miles every single day. Watch what I ate. Didn't drink any beer. Made me crabby because I love my beer, So I couldn't do that. But April rolls around. We drive to Lake Tahoe. It's about a 6-hour drive from where I'm at here in Bend, Oregon. And I got on the scale and it said 216.
Nice.
I was like,
there you go.
Nice.
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 Yeah.
I'm juiced to the gills. And usually Masters, they go on Sunday. So, of course, my teammates, open class was Saturday. So I'm up here, hey, man, watch this. I'm kind of talking them up as they get on stage. And, I'm thinking, I can't wait. So it was hard for me to sleep that night. Woke up Sunday morning. I'm thinking, all right, let's do this. So we finally get there. They do the national anthem and all that kind of good stuff. And then Karen Bean says, hey, we're going to run the right-handed classes first. I'm like, oh, it is so on. And I went 2 and out.
Nice.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
I'm ready to roll. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm a right-handed guy. I'm ready to roll. And I go 2 and out. So I got humbled. I'm in the corner just kind of like shaking my head. And there's a guy, Mark Owen, out of Portland, Oregon. He kind of yelled at me. I thought he was going to punch me. He yelled at me. What's wrong with you? Where's that thunder hit? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell happened. He goes, well, you better get together. Thinking, all right, I got it. So next matchup, left hand, first match, lose that one. So now I'm in my brain going, okay, I'm done, but won the next 4 or 5 matches, came back, I'm in the finals in the top 3, and I ended up losing that one on elbow fouls, but made the podium, took third. And I was excited because it was like, okay, the people who finished in front of me at that year was Al Bound out of Washington, and then Scott Partington out of California. And Al Bound also pulled Grandmasters. So he decided, I'm just going to pull Grandmasters. I'm not going to worry about Masters. Well, at the time, Simon Barrett-Troy was the president of the USAF. So I'm thinking, all right, no big deal. When I finally got word that Alan was just going to do Grandmasters, I left a spot open for Team USA, which, the way we do things, that whoever placed the top 2 go, if one of those guys can't go, you go to the next person down, which would have been me, but I never heard anything by then. I said, Simon, is this true? Alan's not, going to compete in Masters. He goes, yeah, it's accurate. I said, well, that leaves a spot open. I took third. Does that mean I get it? He goes, well, yeah. I was like, well, how come no one told me? And he was like, well, this is where you got to be proactive about that. And I'm thinking, the fuck? I'm like, well, I mean, at that point, there was no time for me to raise any kind of money to go to, I think it was Budapest that year. So, long story short, that's my highest placing ever at a tournament, at a important one, I should say. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm enjoying the ride. The last time I had a day like that actually was October last year, and I pulled Sean Hancock in a super match. That was the Vendetta style thing, right? And it was left hand, of course, no big deal. And nothing against Sean. I just think he's one of those guys that we all know that you got the puller who's a certain way out of the strap, and then a puller who's a different puller in the strap.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot better in the strap. If by chance we pulled out of the strap, I don't think he would have handled my hit. But, when you're in the strap, you don't have to rely on so much of the hand. But I trained hard for that. I agreed to it. Never been in a Vendetta match thinking, okay, you know what? It's going to be, a big thing because now I got to get my conditioning up, right? So I focused on that. More conditioning, less strength. That might have been a telltale. I don't know. But I will say this, though. I threw everything I had at that guy, and I ended up losing 6-0. So I come back down. I'm sitting there in the front row. My wife's rubbing my back. Babe, it's okay. Just use that anger toward the tournament. I'm like, baby, I don't think you understand. I threw everything I had at that guy, and it didn't matter. Yeah. Either if I had an advantage, I ended up elbow fouling. It's part of the skate. It's part of the sport. I get it. But still, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Okay, so tournament starts, and I'm pulling just left hand because my right's still kind of banged up from doing stupid table curls, never again. So but anyway, so I'm pulling left open, left Masters, and that was Masters was 221 and over, open was the 242 class. So, first matchup, lose. I'm thinking, oh, I know this recipe. Here we go. Then we go to open class. First match, I lose again. I'm like going, okay, you know what? There's no way I didn't come all the way over here just to get my ass handed to. And my wife's like, babe, whatever happened before, Sean, stop worrying about it because now it's affecting you now. And it's almost like she was inside my body going, yeah, knock it off. Not like that. I'm thinking, all right.
Good corner, man.
That's a good wife. Right? That's a good wife. That's a good wife.
Masters came from the B side, blew through everybody, took first. Then Open, came back from the B side, went all the way to the finals. I ended up pulling Jody Smith out of California, and I ended up losing him again. He was my only 2 losses, actually. He put me on the B side in our first match, and then I beat everybody else left, and I came back to him again. It was him and I for the first place, and he ended up getting me there. And like a stupid dumbass, I tried to go in like this, and he just caught it, took me that way. All right, no big deal. Took second, which is good, but I really want to pull him again because I think, left hand, I really wanted him. December was Washington State Championships. He actually came up to Washington, but he got bounced out before he got a chance to face me left-handed. Right-handed, he got me, but left-handed, he's already eliminated. So I was like, okay, no big deal. I went ahead and took first Masters left and right and took Open 232 class, left hand, undefeated. Nice. Good day. It was a good day.
That's Jody, awesome. You're predominantly a hooker, right? You hook predominantly, do you or you?
I'm trying to get into the hook game now because what I've learned over the years is that I was always fast, top roll fast, So when people started, watching me or if any kind of footage was out there, they would stop that. And the one thing I don't want to do is be a one-trick pony. So I'm thinking, okay, I got to have a plan B. Either A, I can be well-rounded, or B, I got one move, but I'm damn good at it. So how do I got to find some happy medium because I don't want to have too many moves to work on because then all of a sudden I'm only giving 33% to this, that, and the other, and I'll never get better at any of them. So top roll is my number one, but I got a weird version of a top roll. It's more like a slingshot top roll where, I'm lining up here, but I'm also dipping to the negative. So I'm kind of like this, right? And then when they say go, I'm moving my momentum here, and then I'm coming like this. Okay. So I really never pronate. It's more just a side pressure.
Straight wrist.
Yeah, kind of like, that kind of, it's a top
Justin Bishop.
Doesn't including kind of pronation, which is kind of weird. It's kind of hard to explain unless you saw it, but that's my go-to move.
What was it like pulling Sean Hancock? Because he goes up high too. What was it like pulling Hancock? When you pulled Sean Hancock, what was that like? Because he goes up top too, right? Like, what was that match like with you guys?
If I had another chance at him, I'd actually go inside with him.
I was wondering about that.
I tried to go outside, but the girth of his hand controlled everything. He controlled any kind of thing I want to do. I tried to do that move, and it didn't matter.
Did you catch the match between him and Dallas just recently?
I saw it, and I was kind of like, they both tried to do some kind of Kings move shit.
They ended up like that because they both go out in the same way. Yeah.
Right. I was trying to avoid that. I was trying to, because he has this lockout here. And I'm thinking if I can get up top and kind of catch him right here, I was going to try to press down. I ended up elbow fouling at the front.
Okay.
So let me try it again. But when I tried it, he was ready for it. So, at that point, he was just a smarter pull than I was at the time. I think going back now, if I were to pull him again, I'd go inside. I'd just grip up with him, apply down pressure, and then just kind of drive in like that and just kind of drag back to the pad. So that's what I've been experiencing with the last month or so.
Okay.
Nice. That's great.
Don't tell all your secrets, man. All
right. No, I got a lot of stuff. So that's why it made me so frustrated. Like I put out almost everything for Sean, and it didn't work. It's like going, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, well, hopefully
some stuff up
again.
So once you got into arm wrestling, do you have guys that are like real influential to you that you watch or?
Well, quick story, how I got into it. Working at this solar plant, and my coworker, his father-in-law was an arm wrestler out of California. They moved up here to Bend, Oregon, and he was like, "Any guys arm wrestle?" We're like, "Nah, not really," And The first person I ever saw in arm wrestling, he said, well, look this guy up. And I'll let you guys, since there's three of you guys guess the first person I locked horn or I saw on YouTube. You go ahead and guess who it was.
Devin.
Nope.
No.
John Brzezinski.
Nope.
Ron Bath.
Ryan Bowen.
He was a big, well, his father-in-law was from California, so he was down in Southern California, and Alan Fisher is in San Diego, so he said, look at this guy. So I'm like, well, let me see how good this arm wrestling thing is. So it was one of those years he like dominated the Arnold. So I'm looking at the clip and thinking, wow, I mean, that's some good stuff there. And I would watch it over and over again at work on my break, my lunch, because there was a tournament coming up that year. It was December 2010, and it was at the Harley Davidson dealership. So what happened was that it was a Toys for Tots. So you brought in like a toy or some canned goods, that kind of thing, and you kind of just donated, you know, for the people who couldn't afford that kind of stuff. But the event was in the back showroom. I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking, I'm excited for it. What do we do? He's like, well, there's two weight classes. I'm like, okay. He goes, there's a 198 and under and a 199 and over. I'm thinking, huh. Well, now I was walking around maybe 205. I'm thinking, nah, man, I'm not doing that because I don't, like I said, this is new to me. I never wrestled in high school. I know there's weight classes. I don't want to go up there and just get annihilated by some guy. So I said, I'm just going to cut weight. Fuck it, whatever. I ate a salad. I didn't eat no meat, a lot of Gatorade and water and salad. And I think I got there, it was like 195 or whatever at the event. So my first ever, I took first, but I don't really talk about it too much because I only had to pull one other person who just happened to be my coworker. So it was just like, fuck, But I liked it though. And this is where Darren Martina comes into play because he was also there. And basically he was like, I got $100 for anybody that can beat me. I'm thinking, all right, is there some kind of trick or illusion or whatever? And what is this? He was like $1.65. I'm thinking, okay. So it was $10 to enter. He goes, hey, $10 to enter, no big deal. I said, all right. So I got up in there and I held him, but then he actually just kind of jerked me down. I'm thinking, all right, cool. Hey, thanks. Had a good time. Bye. He goes, well, hold on for a second. He goes, at all the guys, you were kind of one of the stronger ones. I mean, if you ever think about taking this seriously, here's my number. So he gave me his contacts. I'm like, all right, cool. So I waited till Christmas came and gone, waited till New Year's came and gone. And then I said, you know what? Meantime, I'd watched, that's where I started watching Brzezinski and all those other guys and stuff. I'm thinking, this might be kind of cool, because at that point, all I did was play like, softball and co-ed, competitive. And I'm at a point now, all that sliding in the home is just wearing on my body. So thinking, let me try something different. Gave the guy a call, hey, Darren, it's Jody, remember me? Oh, yeah, the black dude. I'm like, yeah. Hey, well.
The black dude.
Damn.
The only black guy interested in arm wrestling.
Wow.
He's like, oh, yeah. So I was about 20 minutes from his house, went up there, and the first thing he showed me how was not to arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Which was pretty unique because now all the guys that come train with me, that's the first thing I do. This is how you don't arm wrestle. He goes, you always want to be like this as high as you can. And of course, when I set up, I was set up like this. He goes, no, you want to do that. But have everybody here. That way you have 3 points. 1, 2, 3. You want to have that 3 point. You're stronger here than you are out there. I said, okay. So he taught me some methods. He taught me about the hammer and nail. He taught me you're stronger tight than you are out. And like, what do you mean? Well, if you're going bowling, you get one of those 14, 15-pound bowling balls. You hold it to your body right here like this, tight. Then you can hold it all day long. But as the moment you start, stretch it out from your body, then the weight starts to drop down, Yeah. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I mean, just little stuff that I didn't think that would,
What's the hammer and nail? What's that about? What's a hammer and nail? What's that about? Hammer and nail? Was it you were saying?
The one he was just talking about, yeah.
Okay, got you. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
So just certain things he would tell me, I'm thinking, oh, and it stuck with me. I'm thinking, cool. Now,
like a physics lesson.
Right. So, we call him Mr. Miyagi because he's been around for a long time and stuff, multiple state titles, never won a national or world, but, multiple state title guy. And love the guy to death, and he took some time off, he had nerve surgery, so he's a framer, so you need your hands. So his hands are always strong anyway, and there's something to be said about somebody who's a plumber or, you know, they work with their hand mechanic, just naturally strong hands, you know, well, he's a framer, so he had the natural strong hand at a buck 65 pounds. I'm thinking, okay, well, there's no way I can beat this guy. He goes, well, don't worry so much about beating me at practice. Just make baby steps. I'll give you pressure. Once you conquer that, I'll give you more pressure. That's how I gauge myself, you know, not so much trying to beat him. He goes, that'll come at a tournament where you're pulling somebody else. But right now, don't focus on trying to beat me. Just focus on the actual movement and, you know, watch your hand. I was like, I am watching my hands. No, you can actually make your hand move by just looking at it. I'm like, this guy high or something like that? But it actually made sense because as a top roller, when I'm going like that, you can see what's going on. I mean, you know, going like that, you can't see what's going on. And, you know, one of the things he also taught me is that, well, I never look at the rest mount. I was like, well, why is that? Because you know how some people look at the head rep and lip read and they take off? He goes, well, what if their head rep is on that side and you're pulling right-handed, then what? He goes, if you look at his mouth, he says, no, your first move is here first. Then there, you're already lost.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said,
that makes sense. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Miyagi,
yeah, that's smart.
Right. So, okay. So I said, well, how do I gauge my speed? He goes, well, you're a quick guy to begin with. Work on your timing. I don't do the Travis false start stuff, you know, but here's a secret, you know, and like I said, it could be, you know, I could be giving away all my secrets, but here's one of them, you know. When you grip up, right? Sometimes I'll take a cheating and they'll have to straighten this up, you know. Usually when they do that, when they say go, then they take their hand off. So I'm gauging their hand. You know, hold right there, don't move, ready. As soon as they go like that, I'm taking off.
Nice. Yeah. I like that. That's sweet.
That's just one of the winning secrets that I have. You know, well, how are you so fast? I'm like, well, I mean, I don't train speed. I just have it. I just sit there and just, I'm always looking at my hand. I never look away. I'm never looking at here. I'm always looking at that. Looks good. All of a sudden, as soon as they move that hand, I'm taking off.
Like it.
That's smart because they probably start to move their hand a little bit before go.
Yeah.
You know, like a split second before go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they do that and I take off. And if I get a false start, he always taught me, well, you got 3 false starts to burn and you're still in the match. So if you have a false start, do it, because then maybe that'll kind of, you know, put this scare or shock into your opponent, you know. So it's okay. It's okay to false start. It's not a big deal. So
yeah.
Agreed.
Right. That's good. That's good advice. Do you have any advice for like someone similar to your story in your position getting into the sport?
It's not an overnight deal. You gotta, I guess, what's the old saying? You gotta pay your dues.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
There's few and far between guys that can just walk up into the sport and dominate. Now, you know, with the latest, with the, you know, the Larry Wheels and, you know, and before I get into that, here's my thing with Larry Wheels.
You just opened the whole can.
Well, man, he's crossing over to our sport. I don't have a problem with that. But when people see that, and you know, he's Khalid, and they're all pulling with, you know, Michael Todd and Devin Laird and that kind of stuff, and they're like going, "Oh, he's so strong, he might be able to dominate." You know, I'm like, dude, he's never had a tournament before, and they're slow pulling. You don't see the other videos where they've been pulling for like 20 minutes already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, come on, people. Like, at least Schoolboy has some tournament experience under his belt. These guys don't, so don't put them on the upper echelon already.
Yeah, they're just filming it.
What's that?
They're just filming it in a way to get more views, really.
Right.
You know,
when people get all amped up and say, "Oh, you see how strong that he can't bend his wrist back," I'm like, well, yeah, Devin can't crack Khalid his wrist is like that. Hell, like do that, but still, don't put these guys on this upper echelon until they got a few tournaments under their belt. You know, don't.
Yeah.
Some people are fickle like that, which is unfortunate. But to answer your question, what would I say to new people? The guys I got now, bring them in there and say, okay, this is how not the arm wrestle. It's trying to do 2 or maybe 3 movements and you do it into 1. What I mean by that is that you'll take a guy who will sit there and what they want to do, they want to hook. All right, cool. You know, I kind of test them out. Try to hook. Okay, try to top roll. Then I kind of can gauge, oh, you're going to be strong here. So we have a guy named Zach. He's pretty new. He has a powerlifting background. Doesn't hurt to have that. But you know, he's real green in sports. So he likes to go into a hook. But his move is like, ready to go. He wants to do this, pause.
And then go. Yeah.
Okay, well, how about you do the one motion?
Right.
Kind of do this rather than just kind of go, ready to go here and then there. Because as soon as you stop, you give your opponent a half a second time to readjust, and he can probably fill you out there. So we're trying to work on one movement and the second movement and just put it all together and kind of just make it like that. So
Yeah.
like I said, that's going to take time. He's like, well, I'll be nervous for my first tournament. I said, don't worry about that right now. You want to look stupid in practice so you don't look stupid at a tournament. So you want to iron everything out here, you know, before we go out there, you know. And we don't know what this tournament thing is. Now we got the new president. Now, you know, these tournaments are getting put. We don't know what's going to happen. So I just said, for now, take your group of guys, go travel across the state.
Yeah.
Or say, hey, get another, maybe a one state over and say, hey, how about our guys come train with you guys? Because after a while, you know, when you train with your teammates, there's that uneven feeling where, okay, he knows what I'm going to do. I know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Right.
Unless you're training for a specific tournament or a certain person, every so often you got to come out of your comfort zone. So my guys now, like every 3 or 4 months, we kind of go travel. So, okay, we may go up in the Seattle area. We may go see Jacob Abbott and his team, you know, or we may go to Pastor Mark Owen up in Portland, make that 3-hour trip up north and just kind of go, hey, we're coming. They get their guys, and all of a sudden you get the guys in Springfield, Oregon. They travel up I-5 going north, and next thing you know, you got 20 dudes up there, 4 or 5 tables. Perfect, because then you can sit there and go, okay, all that stuff we've been training with the last X amount of months. Now, how's it going to go against somebody you haven't pulled yet?
Yeah.
Because everybody has a different size hand. They got a different size grip. They got a different feel to them. And now it's unfamiliar. So now you really get locked in. You know, it's always easy when I'm pulling my teammate Nalo Cruz, and for a guy that's a 198 puller, has a hand of a super heavyweight. It's kind of unreal right now. It sucks, but I need that hand because now if I can hold him up here and go toe-to-toe with him, then when I go pull somebody else, I'm thinking, oh, okay, this feels good. Feels pretty good. So I'm trying to tell my teammates, you know, don't be so gung-ho on tournaments as of yet. Now, a couple of them got a few tournaments under their belt, which is good because now they can go back home and go, okay, I lost because of my wrist, or I lost because of my foot placement, and then we'll fix that. Let's fix the foot placement. And what we do, we get together every Saturday, but in between those days, between Saturday and the following Saturday, you're on your own with the workouts, you know. We're training, we're training cupping or pronating. We're always doing stuff on our own, or some guys are got the weights, you know, we're working on shoulders and stuff like that. Then we get together on Saturday. I'll say, hey, what y'all want to work on? And we'll say, hey, how about this? I work on my hook for the first half hour. I'll do nothing but hook. You can hook me, press me, top roll me. I got to make sure I maintain that cupping strength. And then we'll flip it. All right, now I'm going to work on top of it. You work on that, and then we'll just work on, or there you work on strap, and then we'll do all that kind of stuff. Now, to neutralize everything, and to make, I'm sorry if I'm just babbling on. Sorry about that.
Oh, go ahead. This is all about you.
To make sure that playing level's even, because I'm a lot stronger than some of the guys I got because they're all novice guys now. So we got these power bands, right? So you put it on your body, on your shoulder, and I put my hand through the band. So when I take off, now their body's kind of staying there and they're going this way and I'm coming this way, but I'm also pulling the band too.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for me, you know, to kind of pin them. So that way I'm getting work also. I'm not constantly just taking them to the pad because that's no fun. They don't really learn anything. It's mainly for me. I take that back. It's for me, but yet for them, because I always think if you train with somebody stronger than you, you're only going to get better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, on the flip side, since I am one of the stronger people there, I have to come up with things to make sure, you know, I'm getting work in too. So if that means, you know, putting the band on, or I'm gripping somebody and somebody has the band around here and they're pulling that way, if I get taken this way, then they give me slack. But the minute I go in a positive position, then they kind of wrench on it. That way I can really get some work in. And that's the only way I can kind of, you know, get some type of workout in without just annihilating everybody, because we all know we've had some of those guys in the past where all they want to do is be a tournament puller. I'm like, you know what? It's practice, guys. I'm like, if you want, I can go to a hardware store, get you a plaque. Hey, be a puller, whatever, you know. But you know, I think some people forget that, hey, we're a team here, so we're trying to make each other better. You know, that way when we go there, you don't want to see one guy dominant, the rest of us kind of, you know, just
off the bottom. Yeah,
that's nice that you have that structure to work together like that and work on specific things. Because, I mean, I've been to a few practices, and I know these guys have, where it's just everyone does whatever.
Right.
There's no structure whatsoever, so it's almost not like a real team, you know?
Yeah, man. Well, everyone's different because, like you said, I'm a top roller by heart, but I've learned how to, you know, get into a press and a strap. I'm learning the, you know, the hook drag now. So, you know, I'll pick a move, and if they get me here, if I'm top roller, I have to top roll out of it. If I'm a hooker, they got me here, I gotta pull through it. I can't like pronate out of it. I mean, I can, but the rules are if I'm doing my hook, I gotta make sure I stick with that.
That's good.
You never know. What if I get into a tournament and I'm gonna hook this guy and then he takes me here? I'm thinking, okay, I want to be able to where I can trust myself, where I don't get the deer in the headlights. I'm thinking, oh crap,
now what?
Get out of here, you know. I don't want that feeling. I want to be able to be comfortable in every spot where if you get me here, I don't panic, you know, or if you get me, you know, here, I don't panic. I can just push through and then kind of get my shoulder behind it and then press through. So
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I like that because it does get irritating when you go to a practice where everyone just wants to pin each other. You know, like they're there to win practice. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
or
like,
what you could do.
Winning?
What you could do is just freeze everything up top. And when we do a freeze drill, right? I'm thinking, okay, I'm freezing you right up here, and you got, you know, 10 seconds. Go as hard as you can. How many times you can take me here? I'm trying to hold. They're going. I'm holding here, and they're going. I'm holding. Okay, now it's now it's your turn. I'm trying to go. You hold me. I'm just going right here. I don't go all the way to the pad. We got this window where it's 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So we just go here, come back, and we set and go back. You know.
That burns you out quick. That like gives you a pump.
Or what we do is that, okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna take you to the pin here, and I'm gonna stay here for 15 seconds. You know, you try to get me out of here.
Yeah.
They're doing this. I'm bringing them down. They're doing this. I'm bringing them down. Okay, now it's your turn. You know, they're taking me. I'm trying to pull them back, and I'm pulling back, and so we all, you know, do that for 15 seconds. Okay, we flip a coin, offense or defense. Okay, let's go. Or we'll sit there and go, all right, here we go. I got this coin. Heads, we go into a power lock hook. Tails, we go into a strap. Let's do it. You know, so and it's just something to
it's like a team doing drills. You know,
you know,
nice.
every team does something different. Like when you go travel to a team and they do something different, you kind of go, oh, that's interesting. Huh, okay. And you know, like last year I was in Petaluma, and I was with Eric Wolfell and his team and Nancy Locke and stuff, and he has that top roller machine, and he has the rope outside of his house you get to climb, and I was horrible at it, by the way, but you know, it was cool, interesting, because now you got the Northern California guys there, and it's a whole different world there. And like I said, you take little bits here and there, you take back home, and you know, some will work, cool. Other ones that don't work, you just throw them away, you know. So that's what I've kind of done over my 11th year in the sport. So.
How about that top roll machine? Does that feel legit?
It's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
Because he has springs, and if you don't put any pressure, it'll bounce you back that way.
Yeah.
So
that's
really
cool.
You gotta stay constant. Yeah.
Does it feel authentic? Like, does it feel like close to like how it feels like in a match?
From a side pressure point, it does.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it's at an angle too. So, you know, you grip up and you got the peg here, and you're thinking you're going hard, but you'll go, and you only go that far. So you really got to like just take off with it.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Cool machine.
Jody, do you feel it's easier to control a practice the more like you have the same people coming like over and over and over? Is that like, would that seem more consistent? Like, I feel like if you have the same people, you can have that, you know, versus always different people where someone might feel like they want to show you, oh, I've been working, I'm stronger. You know what I mean? Like if you have the same type of people always showing up, then you can get everyone on the same page almost. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because one of our guys, he's been in practice once since TAO2. And that was December 2nd? And here we are, January 22nd. So
Yeah.
He's been working, I get it, or hey, I can't make it, I got something to do. And I get it, because a lot of us got families. I get that. If you can make it, cool. If you can, no big deal. Just at least put some workouts in between the time, from the last practice to the next one. So he's gonna be here tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But I think when you got the same guys in and out, week in, week out, you know what to expect. And you know what to expect from you.
Yeah, you get complacent.
Right. So we warm up, your typical practice with our guys, you warm up, okay, like that. You kind of get everything, get all the blood flowing here. And either we'll work out first, we'll work out some drills first. Yeah. So we'll get like the country cross handle, we'll do that a little bit, or, we'll get the wrist ball and we'll do that a little bit just to kind of get things warmed up. And then we'll go on the table. Turn on the YouTube and see what y'all want to watch. You want to watch Arm Wars? You want to watch, what y'all want to watch? Pick one, click, now it's on. And it'll play while we're going ahead and getting busy and stuff like that. Or we might listen to a seminar that Travis might do or Todd Hutchins or whatever the case,
Nice.
Over the top.
Yeah, nice. Over the top, with Bull and John, whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Or OnlyFans.
Yeah. So
he said yes. Oh no.
Yeah.
See?
Got him.
Got him.
There with freaking, we got water and Gatorade, sandwiches and fruit.
Yeah.
That's what we feast on as we're pulling.
Yeah,
stuff.
that's awesome.
Damn, I got to step it up, Chuck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Shit, this dude's giving everyone like sandwiches.
I'm moving to California.
I didn't even have chalk.
See, so we all, and like everyone has like, it's funny because everybody either has their own table or their own strap.
Yeah. So
we meet and all of a sudden, hey, I got my bag, I got two straps with me. He has his table, he has his table, he has a strap, so we're all ready to roll, so we get it done. But then we also, after we get done and we're all worn out, then we have Chalk Talk. And basically what that is, we talk about upcoming events or practices we might think we want to do. So we're kind of getting ready for the TAL event in December. So every time after practice, we say, okay, because we don't know who's going to show up. I mean, everyone, if it's a local tournament, you have a good idea, but we're going to Idaho. There's so many people there, you don't know who's going to show up. Yeah. So we sit there, we have a talk and said, okay, Chalk Talk, all right? If I grab you here, I'm grabbing you low, not so much a dad move, but just low, okay, and I go like that on the pre-start, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a quiz.
Right.
Do this. I said, what if he does that, then what? Well, then I attack him and go this way. So, okay, good. Just remember that, don't freeze up.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool.
What if someone grabs you real high? You're going to match that? He goes, well, if they have a longer arm than me, I'm not going to match it. I'm just going to slip out of it. I'm like, cool. So we talk about certain things, hey, if someone does that, what do you do?
Yeah.
So someone asked me, what if somebody's in your class, they got a longer arm? I said, well, let's just say if it's somebody like a Matt Mask where they're 6'5", not so much as talent, but just 6'5" long arm, and they're loading the hell out of you. I said, I'm not going to match that. I'm just going to take a little lower grip, sacrifice the top, take a little lower grip, and then when I cinch in like here, I'm going to apply down pressure on the go and see if I can turn him in like this. Yeah. I have a better chance of doing that than trying to,
match up top.
Yeah.
So either
you can't fight the bone. You can't fight the bone.
Well, yeah, I'm either going to get my hand confiscated or I'm going to end up elbow found because he has so much,
leaving
that person low.
Yep.
That's just something I would do,
Yeah. Do you guys have a lot of teams like within driving distance, or is it more spread out?
Oregon's a big state, so we're all spread out. So you got the guys. It's down to 2 teams. It used to be a lot, but now over the years, this is down to 2 teams. So our guys here in Central Oregon have been, and then you got the guys in Portland. There's a few of the guys scattered in southern, like in Medford and Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like, they're like seasonal. They like come out during the spring and summer, then they kind of like disappear during the winter and stuff. So, but when they say, hey, it's a big practice coming, then they all, oh yeah, okay, which is good because again, you get to pull different hands, and it's mainly for like my new guys because now they're getting experience at a practice, and it's good you have a veteran on that team because then there's a team in Newburgh, and I don't want to rag on them, but it's like the blind leading the blind. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but they don't have a veteran puller.
Yeah.
They kind of go, okay, don't do this, you should do that. So you need that kind of veteran leadership. So when I go up to a practice, and I bring my guys, and then they want to pull at somebody, I'll be one ref, and then the other head guy on their team will be the other ref. That way we kind of control the practice. No one gets stupid. No one gets into this stupid arm break. No one's fucking Kings moving. No one's doing that shit. We want everybody to be safe,
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I love it. He said no one's doing that shit.
No, I mean,
it's true. It's true.
That's the one thing I think new pullers, I think they see that and
they idolize it. Yeah.
They see the success and go, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
No, because Michael Todd has broken his arm like 50,000 times.
Yeah, and he's conditioned to do it.
Right.
And he still gets hurt.
I mean, hell, man, you can't tell Michael Todd nothing because what he does works for him. Okay.
That's right.
Now,
until they change the rules.
Devin tried to do it, and it looks just stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go on record and saying Devin Larry, Todd Hutchings match was that WL, was it 503 or whatever?
505, yeah.
One of those.
And I was looking so forward to that match, but I was so disappointed at the same time. But I can't fault Devin because he was going for the W. He was going for the win to get the money. I get it. But I know good and damn well if he would have won this out with Todd, he would have lost. That's my honest opinion. But he would say, I'm going to Kings move you because I want the win. When you Kings move, you slide your elbow forward. The way Devin did it, not the Michael Todd version, but the way Devin did it, he was under the table, but he slid his elbow forward, which created more height in his hand. And Todd's like, I can't get there.
Yeah. Do you think he got the pin in the first round?
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. I even put a post up there.
I was so mad. I was so mad. So mad. There
was if you watch, this goes back to WAL 401, like the first ever one through Booster Sports. And it was, if you go back and watch that match, it was Tom Nelson versus Ian Carnegie. And I think it was match 2, I think.
Tom won, didn't he?
Match 3. And
Tom won, didn't he?
No.
No?
Because Tom stopped his hip, but they called it a pin. I'm thinking, really? But then another match similar to that, Devin was in, and they called it, Devin won. I'm thinking, how the fuck do you do that shit? I don't understand. It's here's my thing. WAL is good for arm wrestling for that if you want to like get people captivated into our sport,
Yeah.
Because for that to work, you need a villain. Mm-hmm. So Devin makes a good villain, Travis, if he ever got back into it, makes a good villain.
Right.
Michael Todd was a villain, but just because based on his move, when he kept beating everybody, I think everybody kind of, Michael's not a bad guy after all, which I love the guy to death anyway, but you got to realize that I'm more of a, hey, I want to pull, compete. I don't want to do so much of the, the stage stuff. I mean, let's be honest, the stuff is staged. It's like, come on, man, really? I've seen some.
It feels like that's a trick shot,
What's that?
The Kings mode, it feels like it's a trick shot. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I always viewed it like it's I don't know, like it should be a last resort. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to see Michael Todd not go right into that.
So, like for me, my break glass in case of emergency move is the flop wrist.
Yeah, right.
It's my chance. I'm not going to say I'll never flop out of the strap. No, because they can always climb here and then do that stuff. And it doesn't feel good. But if I'm in a strap, that's a whole different story, though. Because now we're locked in. You can't climb up my fingers.
Right.
We're locked in here. So if by chance I get taken this way, I can create up pressure to stop what they're doing and then slowly get my shoulder behind it and then I can flop down. Yeah. That's my, get out of jail free card type move. Right. I'll never make that as my primary move, though. No. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes he goes right into it, depending on who he's going up against.
Right.
Where I'm like, man, don't you want to test yourself a little first,
Okay, well, let me ask you three something. So when you get into the sport, like I said, the first person I saw was Alan Fisher, but the first person I was captivated with was Cobra Rhodes. Yeah. I want to be like that guy. That guy was hitting so fast. I'm thinking, that's the guy I want to be like,
Yeah.
Now, I'll never be 165, but his style was like, I love that stuff. I love that stuff. But, you know, over the years, I had to learn that, okay, you know, by doing that, and then somebody would grip me a little lower down here, and then I couldn't do this. I go like that, and I would open myself up. I think, okay, I need some more power behind that, or I need to hit harder, or I need to do something. So, but it just got to a point where I had to make myself stronger. So, question for you three: who was the one guy you try to mimic in arm wrestling? Because we all went through it, and then you know you take a little bit of what he did, and then you kind of did some stuff on your own. You mix it up. So, who was it for you guys?
Good question. See, I'm shorter and I have a short forearm, so I always look at hookers. You know what I mean? I don't even try to top roll unless I'm like in a, you know, situation where I have no choice.
Right.
So I look at guys like you know, pretty much anybody that hooks, which, you know, are usually shorter guys that are even shorter than me usually.
Right.
But
what about you guys?
I guess for me, I was kind of objective to it because of the fact that, like, by nature, like my job, I'm a mechanic by right. So I always kind of like, in my head, I already had like a bodybuilding background and things like that. So like, I was like already like, okay, everybody's body's different. Genetics are different. Let me see. I really didn't see a whole lot of people that were built like me until I was told about like, who is it? What is I'm having the worst brain fart right now, man. Toddzilla, right. Honestly. Like, if I were to put myself close to someone's body type, I'm not saying I pull anything like that guy. He's
right.
totally different. But body type wise, I'd be very similar to him. So, you know, me naturally, I pulled top roller, just a genuine top roller. But I've found myself getting good at that right now. So now I really try to put myself like what you're doing right now, work more inside and hooking. I don't want to be one avenue ever, you know? So I've always kind of thought that.
Right.
I would say, even though I have a shorter arm, I probably studied Matt Mask more than anybody with that low hand top roll, because it's just a move that works for me. I feel like I have that down pressure through my wrist, and I just, that down, like just that low hand top roll. Even though I have a short forearm, I just feel really comfortable doing that. So I'd say I studied him more than anybody.
And that's the good thing about this sport, because when you want to break everything down, there's three main styles, you know, hook, top roll, press, but then there's so many moves that branch off. Three of them. So now you got a big old tree full of moves, right? I tried all styles before, like with a hook, for example. This as far as my cup goes. You know, this as far as it goes. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah,
I can get 90.
Guys.
Yeah, I watch a lot of like Jeff Hale because he hooks, you know, like his style.
Right. So just doing this is, because it only goes this far, then I don't think hook is probably going to be my go-to. But, you know, if somebody puts me into a hook, then that's different. It's hard for me to force somebody into a hook unless I do some like some Craig Toulier, I jam them here and then
come forward and drag back.
That's the only way I can hook. I've had maybe 7 people teach me a certain way to hook, and you think at least one of them would make sense. I just can't do it, you know? So, but I can do any kind of, you know, another style I kind of adapted. Kenny Hughes is most unorthodox style as that is. I've done that before and I'm comfortable with it. I'm okay with that. You know, and he does everything you're not supposed to do in arm wrestling, but he pulls it off. You know, and I've done that. And I'm thinking, wow, this is as weird as this feels. It works for me. And everybody at my team's like going, what the hell are you doing? I'm thinking, I'm doing my Kenny Hughes, and he's like sinking down. He's way up here. And all of a sudden it's just a bam. Or it's a bam, you know. So by doing this up here, you don't know what's coming because it's all up pressure.
I always enjoyed watching him, Kenny Hughes. He wasn't talked about too much, but he was just a beast puller, man. Oh my gosh.
He's slowly getting back into it, you know. I know he had a super match with Ole out of LA, California.
I saw that one recently. That was the last one he had. I saw that.
So, I mean,
they were back and forth. That was a lot of energy in that room.
Have you seen him? He cut his hair. Have you seen him lately?
No, I saw that match. He wasn't cut then. That was the last I saw him at.
He cut his hair.
Oh wow, no doubt. That's crazy.
Hopefully that's not where he got his power from.
So he has the full beard now. He cut his hair, and
he looked way healthier. Like he lost a bunch of weight and just looked healthier overall.
I think, and Kenny's one of those guys. He's one of the very few guys you put in that category where he has so much raw talent, and his extracurriculars got in the way and stuff. And we have to train twice as hard just to scratch the surface of what that guy can do, because he was just so talented.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a shame he kind of went downhill, but he snapped out of it, and he's back.
Hey, you can always come back. That's it. Yeah. You can always come back.
So I love that guy for that. But
that's awesome, man.
But getting back to what I was saying about styles and stuff, it's good because a certain style may, work for a certain person. Like you, that Matt Mass, right? There's no way. I tried the dump wrist top roll. It hurts. For me, it hurts. Like, I can't do that. I tried it. Doesn't work. I'm going to stay away from it. But it may work for you. So each move that everyone has may work for you, but may not work for that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because when you're new to the sport, you got to just take bits from everybody and just filter out what works and what doesn't. Like sometimes someone will come up to me and be like, do this. And I'm like, I can't do that yet. Or maybe not ever. I don't know,
I mean, hell, whether you want a top roll like Tim Breslin, where he has a small hand, weight class, and he top rolls without a cap thumb.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people can do that, but I've tried that. It works for certain people, but not for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he will push his thumb up and push his index finger up here, and he can top roll like that.
Yeah.
He gets more, finger on the opponent's hand, but that's how he top roll. I tried that, doesn't work.
Yeah.
I tried the double cap, where as long as you can still see the thumb knuckle, I'll double cap, and it gets more torque on your top roll. But sometimes the referee may not allow that, so you can't always go there either. So
yeah. Yep. You just learn little tricks as you go, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even know
try
that.
different things,
Yeah. That's cool.
Well, that's how I am with a low hand. I don't cap.
Right.
I don't ever cap. I feel like I lose some strength in my hand by capping. But it's something different. It's like for everybody, it's all different.
Yeah.
See, now being that I'm predominantly a top roller, if I'm going for my top roll, I cap their thumb so hard, but I don't hold anything else. You know what I mean? Like, and if I'm going hook, I just no cap. So I think it just depends on what you're doing too.
Now, Chuck, you have a strong hand, right?
Yeah, my hand's pretty good.
Because I have a strong hand, and so my forearm is strong, hand is strong, wrist is about a step behind. So I'm still trying to work on that. But for me, it feels like if I have a strong hand, then yeah, you should probably don't cap and use those strong fingers to your advantage. But for me, maybe because it's me, I feel insecure when I don't cap. When I top, I feel insecure, like, oh crap, like I feel like, no, I can't do it. I have to cap. So maybe it's just something I have to work with. And like I said, I'm always willing to try any kind of move to see that would better me, in the sport.
Yeah.
I think when I train my hand, I don't ever grab like a wrist wrench or anything like this. It's all thumbless. Mm-hmm. I don't ever use my thumb in that way.
Right.
Even like when I've had my hands on a country crush, it's thumbs behind and ball finger that way. So I think I just got comfortable that way.
And that's why, because when I do this, well, the handles, I feel good. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, I can do that. But I know there is no way you're going to grip somebody like that, at a tournament. So, there is some truth to what you're saying there. And I do like that. And like I said, again, I can always try different things and see what's going on, So.
Yeah. Do you have anybody in your sights other than people you've already pulled that you might want to pull again, but like new people that you haven't pulled?
Let's see here. in the worst way. I love the guy to death. He's only one state above me. And I want to pull Jacob Abbott in the worst way, you know. Good friend of mine. I went to his house last year, you know, for a practice. Awesome guy. But for some reason, it's just like I always lose it. Like I'm always, if I take second or third, he's the reason why. And I want him so bad, but yet, you know, you go to TAL and he beat Todd Zill. I'm thinking, do I really want a piece of that guy or not? You know, you know. So there's always that.
Yeah.
Jody Smith, California. I want to, yeah. I want to beat that guy too because I beat him last year. He came back and beat me, you know, at the Legion Sports Tournament in Reno this past October, and we never got a chance to lock horns left-handed anyway.
Yeah.
At Washington State, but you know, as far as big names, no, it's just me getting out there. You know, like I said, I was really looking forward to Uncle John, but you know, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see how that thing, you know, pans out. But my ultimate prize is IFA Worlds in September. So
Awesome. Do you have any social media or any websites or anything you want to throw out? And I'll make sure to put them in the bottom of this video on YouTube.
As far as like videos I post or anything like that, or
Yeah.
what? I mean,
Yeah, anything.
I have a YouTube page, but I don't post on it much anymore. So all my stuff, I like training, whatever, or videos, whatever clips, I either it's on Facebook or on Instagram.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know?
I'll throw a link to your Facebook and your Instagram under the video.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm all about that, man. You know, I don't shy away from people asking me questions and stuff. And, you know, not everybody, you know, there's some weird people out there. Like, oh,
That's for sure.
Yeah.
don't give me those videos if I lose, then it makes me look weak. I'm like,
What are you talking about?
here's the thing. There's a practice version of me, and then there's a tournament version of me, right? And then everyone may think different, but, you know, people are so hell-bent on this. I understand you got to have some type of an ego in the sport. I totally get it. Because at the end of the day, it's one-on-one. I mean, you can have your team with you, but when they call you on the stage, your team can't come with you. It's just your opponent. So I do get some kind of, you know, ego, but don't let it get out of control where all of a sudden, you know, your stuff gets put on social media and you lose. And it's like, oh, you suck. Or, you know, people, they can't handle that. Like, I can care less.
Yeah.
You know, hell, my 6-0 beatdown with Sean Hancock's on YouTube right now. So it's all right. Doesn't bother me. I just know that, oh, man, next time if I pull him, if I get another crack at Sean, it'll be different.
Yeah.
That for sure.
So, it's those losses there, though, you learn the most from.
Exactly. You know,
you're gonna watch those 6 losses more than you'd ever watch you winning 6 times. That's just like fun for you, you know.
Well, here's the funny part about that Sean match was that, so it was live streamed too. So Nick Postal was there out of Northern California. If you go on, I think he's ArmTube on YouTube. ArmTube, that's where you saw the Kenny match, right? So he was there. Of course, you know, Sean Hancock was live streaming and stuff. So while I was on Facebook Live, and I didn't, you know, it was just me. My teammates didn't go. It was just me. So I'm thinking, hell, you know, I lost the first match. I'm like, okay. And after the match, you know, I'm sitting down, and my wife said, you know, Paul Passmore was telling his wife to tell my wife to tell me to go to a rest grip. So it was like Paul was trying to tell me something through both of our wives, which was funny, you know.
That's funny, yeah.
It was weird like that, but you know, my wife was like, "Why do you want to, you know, get into your head?" And you seem disgruntled, so I didn't want to bother you. So I'm thinking, "Fuck," you know, thinking back, well, maybe that should have been it, but you know, maybe I should have done that, you know, rest grip. Yeah, let's do that. So
not a bad guy to take advice from, anyway. You know,
exactly.
He's a beast.
So,
yeah.
I just thought it was funny that both our wives were involved in a super match, and you know, they got caught in the middle.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Okay, hey, tell your husband that. All right, you know, so I thought that was kind of funny. So
that's pretty
awesome.
good. That's funny. Then you got the weirdos that send you messages just asking to see your feet or something.
Yeah, you know, there's all that.
Oh, there's a lot of them out there, man.
Yeah, just weirdos, man. But speak of, I am looking forward, and I hope, and my fingers are crossed, I hope this thing works for the Dallas event, because
Yeah.
again, getting out to a different part of the region and pulling people is exciting because like I don't know them, they don't know me. I mean, we know of each other, but I don't really know them.
Yeah.
And I like to go, okay. I mean, the only person I know in Texas I've gripped up with was Robert Burnett, and that didn't work out too good in my favor. So, just to grip up with people down there, I'm thinking, man, I just want to sit there and let them know that we got some decent pulls in the Pacific Northwest. So
yeah, that's good, man. See, like we're fortunate because we live a real busy area for arm wrestling. So like, there's teams within 2 hours. Like there's teams everywhere here.
Yeah,
so,
there's
like,
no reason not to get to a practice.
Yeah, like there's no excuse not to get to a different practice.
Well, okay, so you guys are in the Northeast, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And usually all the states are relatively small, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, you can probably fit New Hampshire and Vermont together inside the state of Oregon. That's how big we are.
Easily.
Yep.
Easily.
It's just, everything, the further west you go out, the more things expand and spread out.
Yeah.
That's it. And then as you go east, everything kind of condenses where it's like, oh, hell. And I've always said this before on my shows that I was always jealous of people who live down south and people who live in the Northeast because it always seems like they have a tournament every 3 weeks, any which way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true.
That's the way it used to be anyway.
Just like Dave Morocco's practices, for instance. You go to his practice and Todd Zilla's there, Ron Bath, Travis Bajent, Mike Aiello. It's like, holy Jesus. I just walked
Mark
into
Bosa's there.
Yeah, it's like you walk into the Hall of Fame,
Yeah. He invited me to one of these days, and I'm going to have to get out there. Hey, just let me know. We'll get you out here. So I'm going to have to experience one of that. But like I said, for now, it's experiencing things. Like Dallas, Texas, okay, who's going to be there? And yeah, I understand it's still, the weirdo camera guy, whatever thing. But to grip up with, Artem and, Alex Topro, I pulled him during after pulls because he was at the Arnold the year I was in 2019. And we're off to a side table when the event was done. And he had some serious strong torque on his top roll. So, it'd be interesting to grip up with him again. But I guess Gary's supposed to unleash the ROTN again, too.
Yep. What's that, March, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that right now. So that's basically what I'm training for.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. So it's kind of I'm kind of uneasy about that. I'm excited, but kind of going, I don't know what the real format's going to be. So it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, Gary, you never know with Gary, so that's hard to tell.
Right. I mean, Gary will do the ROTN thing, and then Travis is doing the 8-man camera guy thing. So I'm like, well, what's the format? He goes, whatever I want it to be.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I got to
find out when you get there.
Right.
I think it's going to be a good thing, regardless, though. For all you guys, I just think it's going to be really cool. I think it'll be pretty awesome from the way they're talking.
As long as they get the flyer out, because I know once we get all the details, and we're still kind of waiting because there's a couple guys that may not make it because like I said, Uncle John, he's kind of hanging out. Well, it all depends on what Canada does, and then they got some backups in mind, I believe. But once we get it out there, all the social media guys are going to be talking about it on each other's TV, on each other's podcast. So that's going to really, put all the eyes on that. And I think that's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. So,
speaking of that, man,
we're careful in our area, like posting dates because people will like rat out your event and then it gets shut down. You know what I mean? So we try to be careful. Like right now, anyway, everyone's kind of careful putting dates out there till like the very last minute.
It was Washington State. We had a CrossFit gym, but it was like kind of like the old school 1980s word of mouth. Yeah. Like if you didn't get a flyer in the mail, you didn't know about it. Yeah. It's kind of like that, right?
Someone spray paints a red X on your door and you just show up.
Yeah. So what happened was when the event was posted, it was posted through text message. Then we would text, each other's friends and contact or Facebook message.
Right.
Yeah. Then it was like, okay. Then all of a sudden, is it still a go? Yeah, it's still a go. Then everybody kind of showed up just to make sure it didn't get shut down. So.
Yeah. Do you guys have any guys out there trying to do the like the Ryan Bowen back pressure challenge and all that?
He did
do that actually, but the problem was that
your wood, right?
I got a table, but I got some plywood, that I have my table mounted on plywood.
Yeah.
No big deal. When I put it to my pulley system, and I can't do it from a dead standstill. I have to like pull it and then let it go, then do that, which is not the right way to do that.
Right. Gotcha.
Because the plywood interferes with me getting the table that much closer. So what I did, and I put that on my Instagram, I got a loading pin. And I think I put, I don't know, 70 pounds or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And you got one of those ankle things with the hook, put a carabiner on there, put it through my hand, and I just did it from the ground. That's the only way I can do that because I want to do a challenge, but because the plywood is so big, it stops, but the table's like over here. So I can only do it with my elbows on the opponent's elbow pad and do that rather than my own. So it's kind of weird.
Right.
But I think it's the newest thing because what was it last year before? It was all about the side pressure. Now we're all doing up pressure. So what's the next thing that's going to happen now? So
I saw a video today. This local guy here, Zach Lee. I don't know if you know him, but he did 165 pounds and he only weighs 175 pounds. I was like, dude, he's almost doing his body weight in back pressure. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Like these guys are coming out of the woodwork,
Zach's up there though. Zach's a beast. He really is an elite puller.
Yeah.
He just never really traveled or went, got that clout, but Zach's up there, man.
Those are the ones you got to be afraid of. The ones that really don't travel, but they're kick-ass people because you'll go to a tournament and all of a sudden you don't know this guy and he just comes out of nowhere and just, shocks the whole world, and like I said, those are the ones you got to look out for. But what's funny about these back pressure and, I'm all for it. The way I'm doing it, I'm okay with. On the table where you got to go lay back here, think about it. And this is what Travis said. I kind of have to agree with him. When you're loading back here, that's about as defensive as you can get because you can't do anything.
Right.
Yep.
Can't go sideways.
Momentum's,
you're loading back here. Yeah, if you want to hold the weight back here, fine, but you can't. Both feet are probably underneath the table for one.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to get that body to make sure all that weight gets up there. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So, when Travis was asked about that, him and Gary Roberts were talking about that, and I understand where he's coming from. He goes, yeah, but you can't go anywhere with that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like a practical thing that you need to be able to do, really.
I think his exact words were, give me that guy. I'll take that guy all day. he just basically, they kill him. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things that Travis does that, I agree with, things I don't agree with, but they make sense though,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys caught the Neil show, with everybody, but they touched on that lift and basically Neil was saying that lift proves nothing at all when it comes to arm wrestling, just for the same reasons ultimately.
Well, the good thing I like about the lift is the fact that in this COVID era, we're doing something everyone wants to talk about.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch.
What they said. It's fun. It was a fun
getting the whole sport out there.
Yeah. So, let's try this. I mean, how many people were doing the Toddzilla side pressure stuff? Everybody was.
Yeah.
How many people made the Devin Lara the cupping thing? Everyone did that.
Yep.
So now now we're doing the back pressure stuff. Does it mimic or does it translation to the table of arm wrestling? Maybe not. But the fact that we're all doing it is getting everybody involved. There's a reason why there's an arm wrestling training page on Facebook. You post a video. I know I post plenty of videos on there and gotten some negative feedback.
Yeah.
Got some positive feedback. I'm okay. Any kind of feedback, someone's watching it. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I did the resistance band challenge and then realized that I was the only one doing it and it wasn't really a challenge.
So how was that?
What's that?
You said the resistance bands? What was that about?
I put like 20 resistance bands on me and just looked like an idiot.
Right.
And, just like I had one around my head, around my face, everything.
Right.
And Levon shared it, and then Devin saw it, and then he shared it, and it got a ton of views. And I was like, oh my God, this is great,
It's almost like if you put something out there, you may get 131 views.
Yeah.
Maybe, 26 likes and about 14 comments. But as soon as somebody like a Devin or Michael Todd shares it, it multiplies.
Oh, dude, I had in like 2 hours, I had 15,000 hits on it. I was like, holy Jesus. Yeah. But I did it as a joke. Like I was kind of mocking all the people that do their rubber band videos. And it just happens that they shared it as a joke, you know?
Didn't you do one recently on back pressure? What was that?
I did one on back pressure too, where I kind of mocked the way they were doing it, and I put up the weight, and I went all the way up to like 1,000 pounds. You know what I mean? And like, I'm really only doing like 5 pounds and just making it look funny, you know?
The music was the best. The dude had like some inspirational like gladiator music for every time, and he never even moved off camera. The numbers just kept going up, and he was like, just keep going. You gotta watch it.
But Ryan Bowen shared it, so I was like, yeah, you know.
So what's your guys' go-to tool?
What's that?
What you guys' go-to? I mean, I see Chuck got a lot of toys in the background. What you guys' go-to as far as equipment?
You know, it's funny because I got a lot of handles like Chuck too.
Look, he's mad now, Chuck.
I only use like 2 of them. You know what I mean? Like I went out.
Jody, look. Me and
I
Chuck,
went out and bought
stuff,
a whole bunch of handles and stuff, but I only use 2 of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like the wrist max. Dude, I like the top roll eliminator from Arm Assassin Strength Shop.
Right.
Stuff like that. I feel like those 2 hit my hand differently. Like one of them is more focused on my fingers, and the other one's more like on my cup. You know. I use wrist wrenches, different ones, stuff like that.
I wish there was a store where you can just go in there and go, hey, here's our
let me try it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this. No, because I bought a lot of stuff from Arm Sport, the eccentric handle. They would jam my fingers up trying to do that thing, and it would hurt. So I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And I told the guy, I said, hey, I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. It's a good product, but it bunts your fingers up, and I hate that. You know,
it does the same to me. I don't like it.
Right. Then they came out with the wrist mask, which was a little better.
Yeah.
I mean, I got so much stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm still a contracted athlete with Country Crest, so it's kind of like okay,
I like Country Crest.
I got the Country Hand, and Raymond Cody, the co-founder, whatnot. It's basically a mold of his hand.
Yep.
So you grip it and stuff, and it has that big little thumb pad right here. You got to grip around, so it kind of mimics that, which is cool.
Yeah.
My wife got me the hand version of the Israel hand.
Yep.
Ryan Espy has, so she got that for me for Christmas. Try that out.
That's cool.
Pretty different too, because you can also you can bring and do your hug. You can sit there. You can put the straps on and do the top roll. So man, you can do a lot of stuff with that. That's pretty cool too. I got the Country Crest. I got the Raptor handle.
Yeah.
I got so much stuff, and of course, I leave them around the house, and all of a sudden my wife gets on my case and like, will you get your garden tools out of the way, please, so I can clean the house and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I got tons of grippers, and I will say this: I know Toddzilla's against that. I know Artem's against that, but damn it, I don't care. I love grippers because what you can do, you can flip them up. I think I have one right here. I can show you right now. Yeah, I do. So we all know with the gripper, right? Roll my sleeve up right quick. We all know to make them touch, basically your hand is backwards. I get that. But what I train with them, I train them like this, upside down. Because now you can get this.
Yeah.
So to sit there and say it's counterproductive, it depends on how you use them.
Right.
If I use them like this, then I'm getting a good workout. And my hand can't get any bigger, but it can get thicker.
Yeah.
So
I do the same thing, but what I'll do is I'll take it upwards with a very much lighter one, not something that strong, and I'll put it face up, 2 fingers, and do this to work my thumb pad and these 2 fingers, and then I'll flip it and I'll do it the same way, this way, upside down, the same way you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, this is like heavy grip 200. The lightest one I got is in my truck because I always do that as I'm driving. So I mean, I'm always doing that stuff.
Funny, like I always keep one like near the couch, you know, or anywhere where I'm gonna go sit down, and
Right.
I'm always sitting there using something. Like I try to do something all the time, even when I'm not, you know, training or whatever.
Because
I got one in the car. I do while I'm driving, you know, like.
Have you seen the mini ones? There's
Oh,
a mini little version. They're like eggs almost.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want a set of
Yeah,
them.
I have a number 5 like that.
Yeah, those things look really cool. I just stumbled on them the otother day. They're a little
Yeah.
pricey, but I want to get a set of weak ones, like just to keep in my pocket, basically.
Are you talking about those Iron Mine tugs?
Yeah, is it the tug? Yeah.
Yeah, those are good too. I mean, because all my equipment is in my garage where I work out at, but here in my office, I mean, this is basically where I do my ArmTalk at. So I got to do something, and I'm like, there's that. There's there's this sport thing I got here, this little thing. And so basically, just you just work that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
can adjust it to where it's real loose, or you can adjust it to where you can tighten it. It gets real, real difficult. And I do that because everyone likes to cup this way. They work this movie. Hey, that's awesome. But I don't want to have a muscle imbalance where you don't work going this way, So that's what I do,
I know I have so many little gadgets around. My wife gets pissed off. Like,
I'll be honest.
pick this stuff up.
I love all my gadgets, but do you
Yeah.
need them all? No, you don't need them
No,
all.
you
I
don't.
like them because it keeps it fresh when I get bored sometimes. And I don't. I mean, some people are like, you don't need this. I don't care if I need it. I like it. There's certain things I like. And can I get by with a good wrist wrench? Yep. A towel with a carabiner? Absolutely. And a loading pin. If that's all you got, you can make all that work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as you get into the sport more, you want those cool tools. They're fun. It makes it fun.
Today, I just ordered the that thumb pronator strap.
Yeah.
From Israel. Yeah, I just ordered that. So it's like, because
nice.
When I order these toys, I always do research on them first. Now, I always look at the reviews, that kind of thing, but also kind of take it with a grain of salt, because what some people may not like, others may like. So I was kind of gauge it. What can I use that for? Is it beneficial for me? That kind of thing. So with the pronator thing, it's no different than putting a strap on your thumb, right, and doing this. But the thing is, though, with the strap, the heavier weight you do, the more stress it puts right here.
Yeah.
Well, the thumb pronator, if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's a plastic piece where it rests right here on the webbing of your thumb, and but you put heavy weight on there, it's just a plastic. It's not the actual strap digging into
you.
And you can cap while you do that motion.
Yeah.
So I try to cap my thumb when I got the wrist ball. It doesn't feel comfortable, so I don't cap doing no more. But when you have the wrist ball, I have the ball of my hand right here. If you can picture that, the ball's here, and I turn it that way. I got the strap coming through this web right here.
Yeah.
After a while, when you start getting up to some serious weight, it hurts.
Yeah, it digs in. Yeah.
Have
you tried the arm grips, fat grips?
I want a set of those bad.
My teammate, both my teammates, they're twins actually, but they got a pair for Christmas. So I tried those, and I was like, damn, these are pretty nice.
Yeah, they feel nice.
Right.
Yeah, those are cool. There's so much stuff out there coming out every day. There's something new.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
and I still back to like styles. There's not just one style.
Yeah. There's
not just one equipment. Everyone's making something, because sooner or later you're gonna find something that works for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is awesome, So they got stuff that I don't have. This is my teammates. They got stuff I don't have. I got stuff they don't have. So when we get together, if we come to my house, I got the pulley system. I'm like, all right, what you want to work on? Whether it be the cones, all that kind of stuff. I got that. Like I said, I got so much stuff. It's ridiculous, man. Like, you're like, dude, what do you need all that stuff for? And
that's awesome.
You guys will probably know, and you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong. Once you start accumulating all this stuff, you realize, oh, damn, I forgot I had those. Or it's like, man, I've used this in like 2 months, and it's like.
Yeah, and you just throw it in.
I just rotate them, because I just do,
You know what's funny is like the wrist wrench. Ryan Bowen posted a video where he made this little skinny one out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to make one, and he was saying in the video how much harder it was than the regular wrist wrench. Man, was he right. Like that little skinny wrist wrench was so hard to get compared to like the big fat one.
I made one. I ended up selling it to a buddy of mine, and it was just, you know, those wooden dowels you put in a sliding glass door.
Yeah.
You get like what, a 2-inch one of those, you know?
Yeah.
And I got some rope, drill some holes, put it through there, put a knot, burn the end so it wouldn't come out.
Yep.
And then the other part was actual flat board, you know, put a, you know, eye bolt in that one.
Yeah. Just
carabiner on. So now I'm thinking, okay, there's a homemade wrist wrench. The problem was because it was wood, it would slip all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, putting chalk wouldn't help, and like it just like there's no way to do that. So
it's hard to grab it.
Yeah, so I went to like Home Depot and got some like grip tape or whatever, and or put it on there, and I'm thinking, okay, but then after a while, I just started chafing in the palm of my hand and stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
I can't use this no more. But a buddy of mine saw, I was like, oh, I'll buy it. I told him, I was like, you can if you want, but I'm just letting you know the sandpaper kind of wears on your hands. He goes, I don't care about that. It's like, okay. So I ended up selling it to him, you know, so it was cool, but you know, it just, I couldn't do it no more. So now I got a metal one where I got from Amazon, and it's the one where the strap goes around the back of your hand.
Yeah.
Kind of mimics the, like you're in a strap match.
Yeah.
And it's funny how certain handles, if you use them all, let's just say you use 40 pounds, right? And you got 4 different handles. They're all going to feel different.
Some of them you have to go down and weight.
Yeah.
Or you can't do the same weight that you can do with, you know, some of the other handles. Or I find that anyway.
Absolutely.
It's weird. I can get a Country Crest handle, or I'm sorry, the Raptor handle. And I like the Raptor because every handle you got that has an eye bolt in the middle, you put the carabiner on and hook it
I
on.
like that. Yeah.
They got 3 different holes. So there's 3 different
pressures.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't think a lot of people pay attention to that. They just think, oh, it's just another handle. I'm like, nah, if you hook it on one of the ends, you're going to end up doing this.
Yeah.
We're going to end up, you know, kind of doing that. So it
makes a big difference.
You know?
Kind of the same with there's a lot of wrist wrenches that will actually come with either the bar with your 3 holes, or it'll just be a lanyard to a point like this with a single point, you know?
Yeah.
So I've always liked the ones with the bars, so you can do a pinky pressure, upward pressure, or a center pressure. Gives you 3 variations. So.
But like you guys said before, you don't need a lot of weight for that. And I don't know why people think that, you know, oh, I'm pulling this guy, he's strong, therefore I got to use a lot of weight. I'm like, you don't have to use a lot of weight for that. You don't.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't ever do like 1 rep max stuff. I do more like low, like mid-weight and just consistency.
I think there's a time and a place for both. I think there's a time.
There is. Yep.
Yeah.
I think you need to know where you are, and I think you need to stay consistent, train, and then find out if you've come up. If you haven't changed, you need to change something in your training. You know, obviously.
What you got there?
Look, Chuck's got the
my
dingle
go-to
hopper.
handle is this.
Yeah, I've seen that. That thing's nice.
The Mighty Hand Trainer.
Nice.
Now it's got 4 different attachments. This comes in 2 different sizes, so you actually grab it, and depending on where it is, you can work your up pressure. You can pronate with it, and it just goes every angle.
Wow.
Now, I started using this and talked pretty extensively with Craig Subile. Craig uses this constantly.
You sure that's not a sex toy?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Even when you're pulling like any kind of back pressure, it's working the end of your finger and everything.
Yeah.
So this has been my go-to handle for a long time.
And they have 2 different sizes of that, don't they?
Yeah. This is the smaller size, but they make one that's a little bit bigger.
The red one?
I have a pretty small hand.
Yeah.
So the red one's a lot bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I always saw that thing and thought it was pretty cool, but I've never had the opportunity.
But you can, it's almost like top rolling because you got to hold it really hold on to the thumb and all that.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like
that's probably what
you can do a full hand top roll because you got so much and you got that dial that comes in between the weapon. You can sit there, you kind of just do it's like a full hand, top roll type deal. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And if you just do like I use this for training my side pressure.
Okay.
When I train my side pressure, it's a full cup, parallel with my shoulder, straight side.
Right.
I don't ever pull this way for my side pressure. My side pressure comes this way.
Right. And that's it. I mean, some of the stuff they do, like with Todd, and he has that one where his angle's up here, and it's like coming down like that. I'm never going to be pulling anybody back tall where I got to come down this way.
Right.
Yeah, you hope not, right?
Right. What I like to do is angle
my weird angle.
So if my table is straight ahead, there's my pulley, I will angle my table that way.
Yeah.
But still have the pulley come this way. That way I can kind of just mimic the side pressure come this way and bring it that way.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of and do it that way.
More direct angle than coming from some weird ass angle.
I mean, like I said, everyone will say things that, even Todd said in one of his seminars that, he watches everyone's seminars, but, sometimes he's on the opposite end of what Devin says and what Michael Todd says and what Travis says. And like I said, all those guys are throwing out something where, they'll say something that's going to connect with you one way or the other. It's like, the press move. And, the way Michael Todd explained it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but he says, if I want to press somebody, if I'm coming here, I also want to kind of it's like a pec deck, right? When you pec deck, then you push into the press like that. And you finish it.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I never really, because my press is I'm always making sure they're out here first, then I'll go for it. But the way Todd explained it was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. I'm like, damn, that's pretty badass. I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah.
And again, what you got guys who got different backgrounds, different styles, and you kind of go, oh, I like that. Let me try that at practice and see if it works. If it works, I'll work on that and strengthen that. If it doesn't work, it's not for me. Again, you throw it away and you just keep plugging away, Yeah,
because all these guys that have seminars, they're just teaching you their way, which might not necessarily work for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're just kind of taking what you can out of it that might work for you, but for the most part, it's their style. And if you don't pull like him, it may none of that may ever work for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have to adapt it to your style.
Yeah, the King's move works for Michael because Michael's perfected that move.
Yeah.
Through injuries.
Right.
If you're healthy, don't pull like that because it doesn't make any sense,
Right.
Yeah, because we remember the Michael Todd that could pull into a hook.
Oh, I love that version.
I wish he still did that.
And we remember the Devin that used to pull, full cup, and just hang in there.
I think over time, though, as you get older and the more you do that, then that's where the bone spurs come into play and calcium deposit. You get those surgeries because you have to grind so hard. And maybe they're at a point where, you know what, I can probably do another style with less soreness, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's just, just the way because Devin doesn't really pull it anymore. Hell, he went to WAL, what happened? Now he's doing all kind of King's move.
Yeah.
That's just what it is,
I know it's sad to see.
Yeah. He can still do it. He doesn't do it as much anymore. So
yeah.
I just kind of heard what y'all were saying. I don't know. I gotta disagree with certain things on that though, because if you go back to what was it when Devin pulled Jerry Catarat? He went deep inside the hook with Jerry and sat right there. That says something for it.
That's because Devin knows he's not going to King's move Jerry. Jerry's too strong coming down. If he try to go like that, he'd break Devin's arm.
Oh yeah,
that's a good point.
He ain't gonna King's move. All right, so here's Devin. You can't King's move a King's mover.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, Todd Hutchins, he's not a King's mover, so Devin can get away with that, right?
Yeah.
But with Jerry, because he's so massive in the shoulder and he's actually go like that,
Yeah.
it's not going to work because he's not a King's mover like Michael Todd. Devin can't get away with that pulling Jerry Catterall.
Right.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
If Michael Todd pulled Devin again, if Devin even thinks of trying to go in there and try to King's move, that's not going to work because Michael's like, this is what I do. Now you coming in my backyard.
Yeah.
I got to give it to Michael, though, on his last time. He looked really good in his King's move. It was not as bad as usual. It was much tighter. You know what I mean when I say that? Like, it just seemed like it was clean.
Adapted to that now. He adapted to all that. He adapted. You know, it's like, okay, you know what? I want to make it to where I'm not way out here.
Yep.
You know, make it more offensive King's move rather than a defensive King's move. All he did was just stop, play defense, and wait till you wear out. Then he kind of come in here and do that. So
yeah,
that's what it was. You know.
Yeah.
See, I think a lot of people get confused too between the difference between a King's move and an open top roll.
Right.
Like a Dave Morocco, that open top roll that he has. It's not a King's move, but he's open.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they were just joking on that on the fix though, like or something. There was a show I just watched where
there's a big difference.
They were joking on the open top roll being a King's move, basically.
I like Dave a lot, and we talked after his that super match he had against, I forgot the guy's name, at Mississippi State. And
that Bundy kid.
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
oh yeah, he lost.
Though, out here, you know, like his open top roll doesn't leave you any kind of real estate on the table, on the pad.
Right.
Because his first move is here.
Yeah.
Once you're here, I mean, you know,
it's a retreat. Yeah, it's a retreat.
Right.
What's crazy is the amount of pronation that Dave has. His pronation is so strong, and he also has he used a lot of that down pressure through his pinky too.
Yeah. With
his pronation. So when he's opened up like that, he can activate that pronation a lot.
Yeah.
Not only through like his wrist and his elbow, but also through his shoulder once he's opened up. Because Dave Morocco in a hook is serious strong.
Well, I would like to see that too. I would like to see a Morocco match where he's not getting dinged for elbow fouls a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Because, I mean, we've seen, you know, and not to pick on Marcio Barboza, love the guy. You see him pulling WAL, and this happened 2018 maybe, and you know he's pulling WAL, no big deal, right? Or 2019, I can't remember what it was. And you know, you're used to pulling those rules: elbow foul, running foul, keep going. You know, okay, fine. Then later that same year, he went to Nemiroff, right? Now you pulling those rules, and one little bunny hop, that's it.
Yeah.
Elbow foul.
Yeah.
And you know, you get used to pulling one organization or league with their rules, and then you got to quickly do a 180 and pull another organization and their rules. And it's like, can you get it? Because Michael Todd can do a King's move, whether it be on a wall pad or a 7x7 pad, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because that's always the first question you see when people say, how does this matchup work out? And then you got to say, is it strict rules? Is it WAL rules? You know what I mean? Is what pad are they using? Because there's so much difference.
Well, with wall, and I'm not, you know, rag on them, but it makes you can get away with being a little sloppy on the table. Whereas if you're pulling WAF rules, you know, it kind of keeps you in control. Okay, I gotta be, if I'm in control, I'm fine. But if I start, you know, bobbing and weaving out of my lane, they're gonna get you. They got cameras there, so if you're pulling like a vendetta, you got to stay in control, because wall, you can kind of get sloppy and either they'll call it or they don't call it, or we're playing the 3 foul system before you lose, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, when I first started, they were like some of the best tournaments around when they were doing still the tournament stuff.
Right.
Like 2015, I started going to more WAL stuff, and you know, they were the big thing, and they were good tournaments. They were really good tournaments.
Yeah.
But then they got away from that, and it's like I think they kind of lost some fan base as far as pullers themselves.
They lost sight on that, and I think, and I've always said this, when you have good people, because like I said, when you pull their guys, their favorites, how many times are we going to see, Michael, Devin, and Jerry fight for the hammer? How many times are you going to see RBJ and like a Toulier or Bishop fight for a hammer?
Yeah.
We need some new fresh blood. I think, we need a Paul Passmore. We need to see a left-handed division, because then you'll see a Jason Merlot. You'll see a Rocky Topi, Cody Mary. You'll get those guys out there. But I think sometimes that they kind of lost sight of that, because we got some awesome pulls out there that do not get the recognition because they're not wall type guys. They're not their favorites. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's why I'm not there.
But no, I mean, Chuck has, here's a point. When it was tournament based, like Travis would say, it was awesome.
Yeah.
When they said, okay, we're going to just take our 30 guys, then it was like, what the fuck are we doing now? Because everybody wanted to be on there, just like everybody wanted to be on Game of Arms. Everybody wanted to be, on Wall, which is cool. At least tournament, you had a chance. All you had to do was win. And, you had a chance. There, you can be like Ryan Espy, get one match, never hear from again, Yeah.
Now you got to blow someone.
Well, I mean, the contracts, I'm like, you're going to try to tell me I got to sign this contract for 2 years? I'm going to get one match? You kidding me?
Yeah, and you can't pull anywhere else, or
Well, them contracts are somewhat negotiable too. You can get some stuff in there. I believe that, if you want to,
Yeah.
Because I'd love to see Tim Breslin pull WAL, but I still like the idea that he's pulling PAL.
Right. Well, there's a few people that have a loophole. Devin and Michael have a loophole.
Yeah, I think it's who you are. It's who you are. It's basically the way it works, man.
some guys have more clout than others.
Exactly.
I guarantee you, Michael Ella doesn't have the same kind of contract as fucking Michael Todd has.
No.
I guarantee you that.
He has a contract to not wear a shirt during his matches.
That's true. I'm waiting to see a WAL tattoo on his body. That's what I'm waiting on.
Don't give him any ideas. He might do it.
Well, guys,
you think the WAL comes back? You think it all comes back to normal function after all of this? I mean, I've heard that they're not doing, like, there's barely anything going on right now.
This is why TAL took over. This is why everybody was on the TAL bandwagon, because when Wall saw, all these leagues we didn't saw came and gone. The PAL, that's still around, but I'm sorry, but Travis's league, the NAL, it kind of left, came back. The UAL was a hot thing based out of California. That kind of went away. It's kind of came back, but under different circumstances. The first rendition of the Wall was nice. The tournaments, that was cool. Remember the 50 state tournament? Then I was one of the directors for Oregon, so we all had their state titles. And if you won, you got to go to Vegas on the qualifiers. That was awesome. And then they kind of got away from it, Yeah. When Wall said, "Hey, we're not doing it this year," Jeff Frank saw an opportunity. He capitalized on it. And Are you all familiar with the? It's a membership, not a contract. But are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah, I seen somewhere you get a membership and then you get a card.
Oh yeah.
And
I
you
see that.
don't have to pay to pull the event.
Yeah, you're just
a member. You don't pay.
Yeah.
When you become a member, you can go to any event that they have. You can pull as many classes as you want.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
That's something that, hey, that's pretty awesome.
That is.
Now with things being the way they are, I think every organization's like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think that's why everybody's doing seminars now to keep things fresh. That's why everyone's having these big practices now to keep things fresh. We're having these, back pressure competitions to keep things fresh until they open the floodgates again for all these tournaments to come out the way we like and we're used to.
Or ridiculous podcasts.
Hey, it works, right?
Yeah.
We talk about.
We're having fun.
Yeah, we could talk about the top 8, bottom 8, old 8.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Right.
the Weirdo 8, call it what you want, So
Well, that's why I wanted to have you on, because I love what you're doing with the Arm
thank you.
Talk and all that. And it's interesting, and a lot of guys out there like to watch it. So I thought it would be interesting to have you on. And,
Jody, when I started roughly, close to 2 years now, but when I started, it was you and it was Herman Stevens and Chris Gobby with Arm Hub, and it was Arm Talk back then. It was just Hand Control with John Brown. Those were the first real podcasts I started on, roughly.
I owe Arm Talk to Craig Sublair when he had his Arm Nation Radio.
Okay.
I owe it to him. I owe it to Josh Grant, John Brown. Those would inspire me to do it, because before that, all I did was put a video out there. Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about how I train for a top roll, or hey, how I train to work my cup or whatever. And then it morphed into something like I had a guest on, and then it just kind of took off. And you always remember your first, right? So my first ever guest was Angie Rose out of Canada. She was my first ever guest.
She's awesome.
Cool.
She's awesome. She's a beast.
That's awesome.
And then I had to be smart, because I remember I had Matt Mask on there one time, and I actually called him, and we're chopping it up on the show, no big deal. And then we got the phone bill.
Oh,
Wife was like, "What do you know in Canada?" I'm like, "What? Oh, why is our phone bill so high? Who'd you talk to in Canada?" I was like, "Oh, I was talking to Matt Mask."
Like,
I was like,
who the hell's that? Yeah.
It didn't dawn on me that international calls is going to, So I'm thinking,
crazy.
okay. So I started doing it. If I'm talking to somebody, out of the United States, I gotta Facebook message them, put them on video, and then because I've had Theo Isaac on there. Ryan Bowen and Neil Pickup threw me a bone, because I was like on their show. They did it. So it was cool.
Yeah.
But, Sarah Bachman is here in the States, but Marlon Kleinsmith, I had her on the show. So, it was awesome to have, some people outside the country,
Yeah.
I had Gabrielle after she had her match with Sarah Bachman.
Yeah.
I had Gabrielle on the show and stuff. And it was funny, because I was like, don't worry, they can't see you. They can hear you, but they can't see you. She goes, oh, okay, I don't want people see him. I'm like, oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. But I've had so many people on there. I haven't had Todd on there yet, but I've had Cobra on there a few times.
Do you have a lot of people reaching out to you like, hey, can I come on?
Johnny Blaze reached out to me a couple weeks ago.
He's
We watched that one.
He's having a rough couple weeks out here.
What's going on with him?
I don't know. He's doing all those videos, those
Too much
inspirational
broccoli.
videos.
A lot of broccoli.
And like
Needs to eat some
people
meat.
are trolling the hell out of him.
Yeah, because it was like, damn, dude, But I was also being blessed to be on the Uncle John show.
Yeah.
I was on a Neil Pickup show. So, I was on Josh and John's show. So it's awesome to be on Ryan SB. I was on his show.
That's cool.
It's awesome to do that kind of stuff, because then you get like the meeting of the minds all on one. Because at one time, SB, Gabi, Uncle John, and myself were on one show.
Nice.
Kind of like this right here. And so we're all talking about what's the latest and greatest and stuff. And it was awesome, because then you get everyone's, points on different topics. Because not everybody, if everybody agrees, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I'm still trying to get Travis to get on the show, but he's always ghosting me. So
That's Travis.
You got to pay him. You got to pay him.
Yeah, you got to pay him.
yeah, exactly. I'm about to come up with some kind of,
Nah. You know what you do? Look, go on to their next Beauty and the Beast and hit them up with like 2 or 3 super chats. All right. And that's how you pay him. And then you got to write, yo, you got to come on my show, and he'll do it.
I need to. The problem is that because I work swing shift.
Oh,
Sunday
man.
through Thursday. So when they're live, I don't get to see it until I get home, or I see it the next day. So that's just one of those deals where it's like, dude, I can't. That's why I've never, like, when they're live, I'm never on there.
Don't worry. We'll get Ryan over here to troll the hell out of him.
I'll troll him.
He just gets on your show. We got you.
I'll get him on there for you.
Yep, he'll do it.
Get him on there. Hopefully, the closer we get to this Dallas, Texas event.
Yeah.
Get him on there and go, hey, man, I'm excited. Why don't you tell everybody what's going on out there, what you got planned, besides the beef jerky, that kind of stuff. Dude,
this is only like my 4th episode, really. So This is like new to me,
It's fun because when I
Yeah.
started doing this, it was like, okay, I got to be professional as possible, and I would have a script.
Yeah.
Put down 8 questions.
No, I did the same thing, but then you ask one question, and all of a sudden the person answers like 4 or 5 of the questions in one question, and you're like,
Right.
shit, I'm running out of questions. And now you just got to like wing the rest of it.
Well, if it's somebody new, then my format is like, okay, hey, what's going on? Tell everybody who you are, how you got into the sport, what your training like, tournaments, what do you think of what's going on in Dubai? And then I start going off the script and kind of doing that.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're like an hour in. It's like, oh, shit.
Because I started it out where I was just interviewing people, but now it kind of just became more like a podcast format where, you have some questions, but it just is like a free-for-all, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best
It's more fun.
because you want to start off with questions to kind of keep it, somewhat controlled, because if you get John Dabo on there, that shit might go up every which way, right?
Dude, I have death threats from him.
What the hell?
I hung out with him briefly at TAL, and he's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. It's just if he's on the straight and narrow, he's cool. If he's off the chain, then I don't want to be around him.
I thought about inviting him on to discuss his death
guy,
threats.
I mean, he was nice.
Yeah.
I think it was sad is that I think Gary kind of got him on there. Hey, let's talk about why you pushed Scott Wynn and craziness. I'm like, dude, that's just like
you're trying to trigger him at that point,
right? I mean,
more exploiting them,
Yeah.
Well, the sad part is that we live in a society where we like car crashes. That's a car crash waiting to happen.
Like Barry Bourne.
Oh fuck! Can I pull him?
Oh my god, dude!
Could we quit talking about him?
I told people, hey man, I will pull that guy for a $15 fucking Starbucks gift card. I told him that, man. I made a video about that, put that shit on Facebook. I'm like,
nice.
What world championship are you talking? Are you talking about the amateur one they held out in California in October?
Yeah.
Because Denise Waddles is like, I've never seen that guy.
He says he's never lost, and then Gary's posting all his losses. Oh, I was like, come on, man.
Chuck, you love Gary, right? Don't you, Chuck?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's when Barry Bourne reminds me of, y'all remember Chuck Young?
Chuck Young.
Yep.
Wasn't he the guy who called everybody out or something?
Yeah.
He ended up pulling Luke Kent, and Luke kind of
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of, that's how Luke started.
That's right.
Chuck started.
Yeah.
But at least Chuck is still pulling. I don't know what Barry's going to do I don't know. But, you can't be gunning for the big dogs if you can't beat the guy in your own fucking zip code.
Right.
I think we all knew as soon as he said he was 270 with abs, and 4 bloodlines, we couldn't take him seriously. So
yeah,
dude, he just wants people talking about him, and he's getting it.
it was just
People
too much.
just keep
But
talking
not
about
really though. He was here and gone. It was 2 weeks and he's gone now. Ain't no one talking about him.
Yeah. Just don't give him
the
the
real puller. So there you go. So.
Yeah. If you don't give him time, then on air on anything, then he'll go away.
I don't hate on nobody, man. Do you? I know what I want out of the sport. I think certain things are for show to help the growth of the, community and the arm wrestling overall. But, do you always get behind that? No. But is it good? There's certain things that are good. Got to take it with a grain of salt, I think people are just trying to really stay in the sport now with this whole COVID thing.
Yeah. I think practice tournaments. And what I mean by that is that now you're going to have these big practices, but tournaments, just to kind of get us that, oh man, I need to get that rush that we don't get no more, for tournaments. Only we're not paying no $25, $30 entry fee. We're all just getting together, going at it, filming each other. And then on the drive home, you're like, oh, remember I got that guy here. I should have did this instead of that. And I should have zigged and he zagged. And give you something to shoot.
We just had that. We just had that a couple months ago when Zach Lee set that up. We
Oh,
had
yeah,
like
the super match,
26
there was
super
26
matches.
super matches.
That was a good time, man.
Just set up in this old warehouse. A couple bunch of tables set up.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I will pull in the fucking back of fucking Rite Aid if I need to. I'll make this shit happen. Like I said, it doesn't have to be It can be in someone's garage, basement, parking lot, don't matter.
Yeah.
Wherever, doesn't matter.
We got a fellow puller who keeps his arm wrestling table in the back of his truck. He just stopped at a gas station and was pulling some random
Josh,
guy.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a good dude right there.
Some
This dude
random
will
guy
pull
at the
anybody,
gas
bro.
station was
He'll
like,
pull
"Hey, can I
anybody.
try?"
It's crazy.
And he just had his table and pulled it out.
Nice.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, hey guys, I don't mean to cut you loose, but
No,
the missus is
no problem, dude. My podcast always goes over the time limit that we have in mind anyway.
But I have fun, you guys. This is awesome. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, it's a pleasure,
appreciate
man.
you
Always
coming
a
on.
pleasure. Yep.
Cool thing. Yeah, I gotta rest up. I got practice tomorrow, so I'm ready to get after it. So
All right,
Hey,
man.
good
I'll
luck,
let you.
man.
I'll let you know when it's on YouTube. I'll send you the link.
sounds good, man. Hey, you guys take care of yourselves.
All right,
as
you
well,
too, buddy.
Jake.
All right,
Take care,
take
buddy.
it easy.
Later.
Bye.